What's up, guys? It's your boy Aloe. We're back with your banger, guys. Before we get into it, though, here's the shoutouts, guys. Big shout out to Chris Was Lost and Lorenzo for helping us out, as well as everybody else on the screen. If you guys want a shout out of your own, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to hopefully get you a shout out. I can't get everybody on the screen, but I'll try to fit as many people as I can. So let's get into the ability tier list, guys. Starting off with the time stop abilities. So the best time stop ability is actually Domain 9, kind of. However, it's kind of complicated to use. So in that respect, I'm gonna put both of the domains in the same tier. Next up, guys, in the A tier for time stops is everything else. Let me get Dio's one as well. Rolla. Now, Dio has another ability as well, but I'm not going to count it. Mainly because there's not a whole lot of point. It's just this normal time stop. But yeah, so Road Roller up in A tier. The other ones are going to be in B tier because Road Roller does damage, so it is technically better, even though it's like a tiny bit of damage. So yeah. Next up, guys, we have Target. Now, Target isn't bad if you like factor in everything in general, like the ability itself. But because it does so little damage, because Vosh does so little damage, it's going to have to go in the D tier. Next up, guys, we have the Death Note abilities for Light Yagami and etc. So I'm going to put, of course, Light Yagami 6-star in S and normal Light Yagami in A. They're both crazy OP abilities, but do crazy amounts of damage. Next up, guys, we have Family Overall. Now, I'm actually going to put Family Overall here in the B tier, guys, because Family Overall hits airs. So it allows the normally only ground units to hit airs, so that's actually a pretty cool ability. So I'll put it in B tier. Next up, guys, we have Switch Attack Pattern. This is kind of like a weird ability, but basically what it does is it just changes Gilgamesh 6-star's attack pattern. So like higher SPA, lower damage, or higher damage, worse SPA, and more range. So it's a pretty good ability overall, and it makes Gilgamesh a pretty solid unit, even though he does cost $1 million, which is pretty dang pricey. Next up, guys, we have Time Rewind. Now, Time Rewind is an okay ability. It's going to allow you to save, like, maybe a wave or two in general. So I'm going to put it here in the A tier. As well as Armor Bust. The reason I'm not putting Time Rewind higher is it has such a weird cooldown. You can only use it, like, once or twice. So it takes up a whole slot for not a whole lot of gain. And Armor Bust is going to get you a guaranteed extra wave at the end, which is good. It's just not quite as good as the time stops. So next up, guys, we have, of course, the summoning ones. I'm just gonna put those both in like the C, and like I'll put this one in B tier, Meta Knight in C tier. This is just basically use this to summon the mech. Honestly, they're kind of pointless abilities. They're not really abilities. They're just like things you have to click, kind of similar to the attack pattern one. Next up, guys, we have Summon. Now, what Summon does is it summons like a super high HP little minion from Yugi. So for that reason, I'm putting it up here in high B tier. Actually, I'll put it in A tier. Honestly, it's a pretty dang good ability. If you combine that with Erwin buff, it's literally pretty cracked. And I can't wait to see what Yugi 6-star has when Yugi 6-star comes out. Like, bro, when is Yugi 6-star coming out? We've been waiting for a minute, boys. I'm just saying, guys, like, we've literally been waiting for, like, goodness knows how long, guys, to get that Yugi 6-star. Like, we've, no cap, guys, been waiting for, 4 months now, I think? No, 5 months. Maybe 6 months, guys, for Yugi 6-star. We've been waiting for him almost as long as we've been waiting for what's his face? Aaron 6-star. Hopefully we'll get Aaron 6-star soon with AOT season. But he's gonna take over a year since he's been announced. Next up, guys, we have Black Flames. Now, Black Flames used to be a lot better, but because Toshi now has the ability, I'm gonna put it here in I'll put it here in here. It does allow Sasuke to hit airs, which is pretty good, so it's definitely better than Family Overall, but Family Overall nowadays has higher damage because Whitebeard does have that orb. Next up, guys, we have Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is like a slightly worse version of Right Names. It's going to have a way faster SPA, however, it's going to do way less damage, so for that reason alone, it's not as good as even the 5-star Light Yagami's. Next up, guys, we have Explosion. I'm going to put Explosion up here with Lightning Storm. It's kind of a lot like Lightning Storm, but the main difference is an Explosion. The main difference is it's going to be a lot less damage because Megumin just doesn't do as much damage as the other ones. And however, you can spam it. So you can buy, resell, so that's kind of nice compared to Light Yagami where you can't sell it. But overall, Megumin needs an orb. If Megumin got an orb, that's what I'm talking about, guys. So let's make sure Megumin gets that orb so then Explosion can be meta again. Next up, guys, we have Venom Nukes. Venom Nukes is the same thing as Black Flames, guys. It literally does the exact same thing. The only difference is it gives it poison instead of Black Flames. So I'm gonna put it above Black Flames because it does have a higher DPS and it's the only Venom unit. It's the only like poison unit in the game. Next up, guys, we have Rewind. I'm gonna put Rewind in C tier. The thing is, it was really good back in the day, but like Deku's damage is just so bad. But like, if Deku ever got an orb or like a 6-star with Rewind, now we're talking. But unfortunately now, yeah, well, kind of stuck there. So next up, guys, we have Sun and Moon. So I'm gonna take a second to talk about Sun and Moon because not everybody knows exactly what goes into Sun and Moon. Now the thing about Sun and Moon, guys, is it spawns an enemy, but there's a cap. It's like 100,000 HP. So I used to thought it might be meta, but because of that cap, it's not as good. And it doesn't even like get all the units. It gets like 3 or 4. I don't know entirely know how it works. So it just never was super good. And I feel like they kind of did Crollo dirty with this. I feel like if they would have made the cap a little bit higher, like say 1,000,000 HP, it would have been better. Because again, what it does, guys, is it spawns a unit with half the HP of the thingy that it was copying. So like the Sun and the Moon, so like the enemy and the copy. I'll put it up here in B tier because it is better than like all of these, but like it's not as useful as everything above it. Next up, guys, we have Shinzeo Sasageo, bro. Triple damage, guys. You literally can't compete with this. If you don't have Erwin on your team, you're literally like, bro, like come on, what are you doing, guys? Next up, guys, we have Merlin. I'm gonna put Merlin's ability. I don't know what this even is like. It's like some compass thing. I'm gonna put it up in S tier as well because certain units is really nice for, other ones it's not as good for. But sometimes having that range is useful, but honestly, it's not as useful nowadays because all the meta units don't really need it. But like, if there's ever a unit that doesn't have a whole lot of range, it's gonna be nice. Next up, guys, we have Meteor Strikes, which is basically just Family Overall. I'm gonna put it right below Family Overall because Fujitora does not have an orb yet. So it's not really worth it because he doesn't have an orb. So that's why I'm like, well, you know. Now this next one, guys, is kind of interesting as well. Detonate Bomb. I'm gonna put it in D tier though. The reason being is it doesn't really do any damage. So what it does is, Kira would attach a bomb to an enemy, and then you can click it to blow up the bomb. But you can only attach like one bomb to the enemy, so you click it, blow it up. It was just some really weird mechanic that never really took off. I don't know if it was ever meta, but it kind of just seemed like a dud to me. So I'm gonna put it there in the D tier. Next up, guys, we have Chakra Mode. Honestly, I'm gonna put this in the D tier as well. Like, even, like, it does barely... It's like a summoner, but, like, it's so bad. Like, it does barely do any damage. It has such a long cooldown. I honestly don't even understand the point of that ability. Next up, guys, we have Replacement. I'm gonna put Replacement up here in the A tier because I'm not sure if it's meta, but, like, with the new orb, the Law Orb, it's actually kind of useful. So it's gonna teleport a lot of enemies back. So, it's going to be more useful now, but we don't know how good it's going to be. And we don't know if it's required for, like, 98 or not. Probably is. So, I'm going to put it up there in the A tier. It might even be meta. So, there you go, guys. Those are the ability tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And let me know if I missed any abilities. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Plan Spot out. Yo, peace.